Howdy folks, DaveMan here again, Rollman Revolution. A lot's happened over the last month since I did one of these Unplugged things, and the world's getting a little tighter. The world's getting a little bit more, the gaps between the margin for error are getting much less. As the wage disparity continues to climb, the rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer. And the lies upon lies continue to keep getting stacked on top of each other, more and more, to create this thing called massive confusion. Now, if this is the first time you're seeing me, this ugly mug, I apologize first off, but also I want to welcome you. The Rollman Revolution is dedicated to changing the internal you, changing the way you see the world, so in turn the world sees you in a different light. And what I mean by that is that through great research, through a lot of peer-reviewed journals and papers, if you're willing to go down these rabbit holes, there is a lot of validity to the fact of having a mindset and a particular attitude changes the perception and the way a person operates in the world. So if you're a person who wakes up every morning, and look, I'm not talking to you about this because I just read it once someplace in a fucking magazine. No, I've lived it. I know what I'm talking about because I've lived through these experiences. And I'm telling you, if you put your mind, if you wake up every morning and tell yourself that you're a piece of garbage, well, you know what? You'll end up becoming a piece of garbage. If you tell yourself that you are good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like me, well, it does make a difference. And I know it sounds so trivial. I mean, these are things that we should be teaching children in school. It's things that the fundamentals, I keep trying to tell everybody, the calmness, the stillness, the silence. These important characteristics of being human are pretty much thrown on the wayside. We focus on shit that doesn't matter. Now, why do we do this? I mean, if I was a human, or let's say for argument's sake, okay, if you watch my previous video, I look at the world differently. I see this as this thing we're in, this earth that we're in, as a holospheric hologram of some sort where you are a participant in a flesh meat suit, flesh puppet, whatever you want to call it, that was created for you, maybe that you chose ahead of time. Say, hey, look, as you're standing upside in the Matrix marketing department looking down over top of the earth, and you're saying, you know what, I'd like to go down and give it another whirl there. Yeah, okay, well, let's work on this, and you work on this time, and try to get your karma here. Okay, poof, send you back in here, boom, you come out, and you don't remember anything. You don't remember what's going on, how you got here, what the hell's happening. Yeah. Kind of feels like the way the world is right now, doesn't it? I don't know who to believe, what to believe. I can feel it. It's like I have a knowing. I've always said that I have a knowing. I have a knowing that I know when something's right and when something's wrong almost immediately. I think you can feel the same way, and can probably cite different circumstances where that's happened to you as well, where you're just sitting there and you realize that whatever's going on in the situation, you're seeing something that the other people in that room are just not seeing. And it bogs my mind today, the consistent evil that is perpetuating itself in Washington, D.C. by people who claim to have your back. It's mind-boggling. It really is. If you don't believe that majority of the people in Washington, D.C. are full of shit, meaning down and outright liars, everything from the word a and the in the sentence is a lie from these people. They cannot tell the truth because they don't even know what the truth is anymore. They're not working for you. They are working for a specific entity. And that sucks because this world is hard enough. We live in a world now where you don't know who to trust. You don't know where to go. People are preying non-stop, putting themselves in deep thought, thinking about a lot of the decisions that they made or may have to make. I don't know how we got to the point where haphazardness and do whatever you want kind of attitude has become the marching orders of the daily grind in Washington, D.C. I've never seen people who absolutely give zero fucks about the people they represent in their district, you and me, but they speak about it as if it wasn't their fault. I've never seen people vote on things and make decisions on things, but nothing is ever their fault. Oh, well, because it got rolled into this, and because you don't understand that if I did this, then I would have had to do that, so therefore it wasn't my fault that it happened. It was because of the Democrats, or it was because of the Republicans, or it was because that one guy, or that one gal. It's all... That's the problem with Washington, D.C. That's the problem with most of the things happening in the world. Leadership comes from within. I believe it's a natural-born gift that some people have and some people don't. And what you're going to listen to on the Unplugged version is, I think that there's every human being on this planet, because you are a creator being. That means you have the ability of God at your fingertips, because you are of God. You are God. You were there at the beginning of creation. If all things existed, let's just use the Big Bang, which I don't believe is true, but let's just use that as the reference point. If all shit just went all at the same time, billions of years ago, that means you went at that time as well. You had to have. It's an all or nothing thing. Things are not, your consciousness is not uniquely created in the atmosphere we call Earth. You've been here for a very, very long time. All of us have, many times. And it's through consistent research, it's through consistent thinking, it's through consistent conversation that we eventually get at it. We get at the things that we're all truly seeking. You see, I mentioned in my first Unplugged video that, I talk a lot about politics on this channel, and for those who followed the Rollman Revolution 5 years ago, you will know rightfully well that I never discussed politics. I may mention one thing here and there, but my focus had nothing to do with that. It had to do with you. But everything's changed, my friends. And I don't mean to say that to be like very trivial or like, yeah, Dave, we know, yeah, this is the year that really matters and blah, 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 blah. I know, I've heard it too. I'm one of those people that I don't get caught up in too much of the bullshit. I can't stand listening or being around people that like to dazzle in their bullshit. I don't like being around people who like to, stroke their own, whatever, or pat their own selves on the back and, give the attaboys to themselves because they just love being right and in the know all the time. I could give a shit less about those things. Like I told you guys this before, that I don't need praise, applause, reward. I don't need to be first, right, or the best. I don't need any of that shit. I don't. I just want to get it right. I'm a person that believes that if you put the right people in the room, both sides of the argument. As a matter of fact, we want both sides of the argument. We want every side of the argument. That's what makes this country the greatest country in the world, because you can have a debate in an open forum. That's the whole benefit of being an American. But we shit on this. You've realized, and if you haven't realized, what's actually going on in the apparatus called DC is they are taking away your Bill of Rights. They want to silence those with whom they disagree, put them in jail, shut them up, put lawfare and legal, nonsense against them, fine them, hold them up in court, make their lives a living hell. That's what's going on in America right now. We're using the legal system to try to go after the opponents for which we disagree. And people because I do beach polling. So where I live in the Clearwater, Tampa Bay area, okay, I'll go down to the beach, and people come on vacation all the time down here from all over the United States and the world, and I will usually have one or two questions kind of in my back sleeve, and I try to go to talk to people that I think are either likely voters or people that look like they probably want to talk to you, because I don't want to go up to somebody and say, hey, I got a question for you about politics. Answer it. No, but people are very willing to talk about the stuff that's bothering them. People are very willing to talk about the things in their life that have changed and why they believe this person or that person is the best for that job. But you have to talk to people. And this has been my issue from the beginning. For 20-something years, I've been saying that we are not that much different. The reason why they make you think we're different is because they put boxes around everybody. They put you in this one and that one. You're LGBTQ, you're Republican. You're conservative, you're liberal. You're neo-fascist, you're neoconic. It's stop with the labels. Because just because you have a certain perception on a certain, idea about a specific issue doesn't mean that you're going to follow the party line on all of the other issues. That's why I said the Republican and Democrat Party, as they were and as they are today, are dead parties. They do not relate with their base whatsoever. They claim to be with their base. They show you polling numbers and all of a sudden, those are the old party Democrats and Republicans that are out of touch with reality and have no idea what the hell is going on. They are in the donor class and in the stroker class and in the wag the dog class, and they keep the status quo in Washington, D.C. That's what those people are. They're phonies. They're fake. They're useless tools. And what do we do with useless tools? We adios that shit. America does not have time for hapless, feckless, useless toolboxes in Washington, D.C. And you know who you are. You've been sitting there like a decrepit old, craftsman wrench. We see you. You're all banged up. You're all rusty. You're all wrinkly, McConnell. You're falling apart. And yet, somehow the RNC with Ronna McDaniel seems to find ways to prop up these old geezers and send them on the way back there because I gotta vote for. You need to go home to Kentucky, Mr. McConnell. Mr. Schumer, you are a pile and waste of time. You need to go as well. You are by far, no doubt about it, the leaders within these parties are the biggest creeps and cretins you would never invite to your home. You wouldn't want them in your home. I wouldn't invite McConnell or Schumer to my house. Those people would stab you in the back the moment you turned it. I have never met a bunch of people that are just phony, so fake to the core. And these are the ones representing you and me. They're the man of the people. The man of the people. These are the tyrants of our nation that are destroying this nation. They took everything that was good in America and curled it up and tossed it in the trash. These people do not care about you. They don't care about this country. They have no problem selling secrets or selling their soul to the enemy. And somehow they've managed to box the entire apparatus around the federal government with their other criminal buddies to make it next to impossible to try to stop them at their game. But you see what happens with liars. You see what happens to the people amongst that deep state, administrative state community, because they're all full of shit. They're all liars, manipulators, and tyrants. It's very difficult to trust people like that, even if you were amongst that group. Now just think about this. Let's say, for argument's sake, you're Chuck Schumer or McConnell, and you're a dirty son of a bitch, and you've been in that cesspool for such a long time. You've been shaking over here, you've been shaking over there, you've been doing the work over here, you've been doing the work over there, lying to that group while lying to this one, manipulating them while manipulating them, playing the game of DC. Now let me ask you a question. After several years of doing that, you think you trust even the people within your same apparatus? Do you think Chuck Schumer trusts McConnell any more than McConnell trusts Schumer? Do you think any of those people do? I'll let you in on a little secret. They don't. And they all would stab each other in the back if it would benefit them politically the next day. I can guarantee you. And that is the difference between what MAGA is and what this old cesspool shit is. You can see the difference in the character of the people that are actually doing the work for the American people. If you don't give a shit about this country, then I suggest you do one thing. Get your shit out of the office, pack your bags, get in a car, and get the hell out. Because we're coming for you. And if you continue to keep supporting the administrative state, deep state's lawfare and bullshit, lies and manipulation, we are going to take you and everything you hold dear down as well. It ain't going to be one of them situations in which you try to say, oh, well, I was just doing my job. Oh, really? Just doing your job? Destroying the nation. I didn't know it was kosher to work for tyrants. I didn't know that it was okay. So you're telling me that if the CEO of the company I work for goes around and is a serial rapist, and we all know that he's a serial rapist, but because he treats us well and gives us a good paycheck, I should just say it's okay? All of us know that he's the serial rapist, but it's okay, we should just let it go because he's paying my paycheck and he's taking good care of me and giving me that good Christmas bonus and that nice trip to Hawaii. You got to start checking yourself before you wreck yourself at the door, my friends. Because if you think that's okay, then you're okay with the way Washington, D.C. has been operating for several decades now. This owe a favor, buying you out, put a little extra money in that little savings. Hey, Joey needs to go to college, Samantha needs to go to college. Hey, don't you worry about that, Senator, Representative, we got you. Just make sure you don't forget about us when the time comes around. When those bills come around, you throw us a little research and development money. And that's why you have a corrupt Congress. Lobbying, special interest, those people need to be eradicated. As far as I'm concerned, you can get rid of the lobby inside the Senate building as far as I'm concerned. Actually, turn it into, maybe build all the American statues that Antifa tried to destroy, bring them all into the lobby, we'll put them right there so it can be like a museum, because we don't need lobbyists in the lobby. We don't need any of that shit. As a matter of fact, you can get the media out of there too, because all they do is perpetuate the lies and bullshit as well. So they're not there doing anything of value, they're just creating a problem. So what do we do with problems? We get rid of problems. Oh, Dave, you're not about free press. No, it's not that I'm not about free press. I'm against people who sell bullshit for a living. That's the problem with CNN, Fox News, and all of the 93% print and controlled video media. You're all in the same bed with each other. You all sell bullshit for a living, and we know who you work for based on the commercials that you run. Brought to you in part by Pfizer. Brought to you in part by this. Amdro. Brought to you in part by Monsanto. You guys are in the pockets of all of these hedge funds, businesses. It's just disgusting because we can see the prostitution at play. We're not dumb. I know maybe most of the audience that watches Fox News, watches CNN, watches MSNBC, which is news for complete stupid people. So obviously your audience, yeah, I understand who you're preaching to. Those are the only people sucking at the tit of that. Most of the thinking Americans, the MAGA base, don't have time for your nonsense. We ain't watching that crap. We know that's a charade. You guys have been pulling the same garbage for the last 25 years. You didn't think somebody was going to pick up on it? Once you get rid of one story, you try to bury it and you move on to the next one. Sensationalize, 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 repeat, 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 repeat. Get the experts on. Get the expert. Are you an expert in this? Oh, expert in climate change. Get them on. Get John Kerry on. Get them all. You guys are all full of shit, and we all realize it now. So you're losing out to guys like Steve Bannon and podcasts, and you keep making fun of it. I mean, listen to the talent you have on the mainstream media today. Just go on in the morning. I love the morning shows because that's where the wicked talent is. That's the ones that are completely out of touch with reality. Morning Joe's actually really good. I highly recommend that for the total moron. If you are have two brain cells, that's definitely the show for you because that's about the pace for which you can digest that. I mean, anybody who has more than an IQ of above 50, you'll get a headache from watching Morning Joe and Mika. But there is a cancer that has been developed in our country, and the only way to eradicate cancer is by finding its source, addressing it properly, and going after it hardcore. And that's my approach to the deep state. That is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple years. I don't want to be talking about politics. It's not politics I'm interested in. I've mentioned that many times over as well. I don't like liars. I don't like manipulators. I don't like bullshit artists. I don't like people that wake up every single day and try to find ways to fuck other people over. I have a huge problem with that. And if you do too, we are on the same team. We may not agree with everything. Look, I've been married 3 times in my life, and I'll tell you what, I didn't agree with all my wives on a regular basis, okay? But I still love them. And you know what? I can still love you. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. We are not going to agree. That's what makes us human. What they've sold you is that you and I are totally against each other. We hate each other. Nobody hates anybody here. We're just trying to save the nation. When I say we, the American patriots in this country that love their children just like you, have aunts and uncles, mothers and fathers, sisters, brothers and daughters, who live their life trying to just do the best they can with what they got, try to improve where they can. But they can't do it in a system that has been completely destroyed on purpose by the people that swore an oath to protect the system, to protect and take care of the American people and their treasure and their vested interest and their security. And what are they doing? The language has been corrupted, the border has been corrupted, and now the culture has completely been annihilated with the influx of 10, 11, 12, 13 million of unknown origin, gotaways, illegal aliens, illegal invaders, and whatever you want to call these people. And then the administration, not fighting these people, not saying, whoa, 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 the border's out of control, we got to get a control on. No. This current administration chauffeurs these people who break the law and chauffeurs them to a city near you, in which you pay for it. You pay for their food, you pay for their phone, you pay for their lodging, and you pay for their transportation to get wherever they need to go. Your own government's doing this. And everybody in the Democrat Party is fine with it? I mean, you were literally fine with it. I literally would like to know what you think about the President of the United States and his administration purposely allowing the border, which is the security of the United States, to be wide open, allowing drugs, cartels, guns, people from unknown countries, unknown origins, with diseases and all sorts of different shit, wide open, and then the President and his administration are dispersing them throughout the country. Are you fucking serious? I mean, this is complete and utter madness, and I don't know why everybody's not in the street and going down to Washington, D.C. and telling that son of a bitch tyrant to get the fuck out before we throw him out. He is a piece of shit like the fucking president that he was sidekick with from 2008 to 2016. Barry Obama, we are coming for you too, sir, because you are in the thick of this shit, and we know it. You are the biggest plant of horse shit, along with Big Mike, your old husband. We know rightfully well that those little ones aren't your kids. We know rightfully well that you were a plant by the CIA. The reason why Trump brought up your birth certificate is because I believe he got it on good account, because Trump is well connected, that this is horse shit. The thing is that there was nothing that the intelligence community wasn't going to do to allow that guy to be president. And at the time, Donald Trump did not need the unnecessary attention, so he backed off. Yeah, he did. But he wasn't wrong. We all know truth when we see it. Your wife is bigger than you and probably could body slam the shit out of you. That's why Big Mike is Big Mike. We know why Big Mike is called Big Mike, okay? We're not idiots. Joan Rivers even knew it, okay? What happened to her? Oh, she died about a week after she made those comments. Again, there's something within you perverted, screwed. I mean, I don't know where you people grow. Where do you grow from? How do you grow to become an imbecile, a disgusting piece of human trash? I just often wonder how somebody develops into that and finds that to be a goal in their life. I would like to try to wake up every single day and find ways to fuck other human beings over. That is my goal, because that is really what's going on in Washington, D.C. That's what those people think about you. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal, and I certainly hope that you get up off your ass, get pissed off enough to go down to your goddamn local office, call your local representatives, call your senators, and just get involved where you live and just make a stink and just say, I've had enough of this goddamn horse shit. I ain't putting up with your crap no more. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. You are better than this. This country is 100 times better than what we are getting in Washington, D.C. These people belong in front of a firing squad, in my opinion. But we'll find out what their crimes are in the near future, because I can guarantee you, put me on the team, Trump. Put me on that team. Find me a job in one of these things. All they want to do is smell the bullshit. Just put me on it. I can sniff it out. It's time we do the right thing. I am not going to be beholden to anybody. Nobody is going to tell me how to live my life. Nobody is going to tell me how to conduct my speech. Nobody's going to tell me what it is I can say and what it is I cannot say. I was born free. No man, no law gives me that right. I was born free. I am a free vessel, a free thinking man. And there's not a damn thing anyone in this world can do about that. Once you realize you have that power too, you won't put up with any of this bullshit either. There's a time where we can get together, and there's a time where we can call reality. We don't have to cause violence, we don't have to create havoc, but we certainly don't have to put up with their horse shit either. And we certainly can have them all removed. We have the power. We have the power. Each and every individual sovereign soul has power living directly within them.